Right, let's talk more about this case with Corruption Watch Executive Director Karam Singh, who's joining us now. Karam, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on this evening. I mean, first and foremost, when you look at how this matter is being handled, is the Speaker getting special treatment? Let's just put it bluntly as that.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on the program. You know, it seems like we still live in a situation where there's some people who believe and operate as if a different set of rules apply to them. You know, it's very difficult to imagine a common person who's arrested by the police being able to use these kind of tactics to delay the processing of their arrest. So, yeah, you know, it does seem, and if you listen to the NPA's argument that there's no exceptional circumstances that have been put before the court, it's very difficult to understand exactly on what basis the Speaker seeks to interdict the operations of the NPA in terms of their mandate. The fight against corruption is so difficult. It's really difficult to pursue successful prosecutions. If it was easy, we would have seen more prosecutions at this stage. But to use these kind of tactics seems quite extraordinary under the circumstances.
But is the NPA itself not already extra nice? I mean, the arc of their argument, whether it's a valid one or not, seems to emanate from this letter that the prosecutor wrote to the attorneys of the Speaker saying, well, look, we will not arrest you until we meet on the 3rd of April, you know, to kind of get you to sign a statement and so on and so forth, and then the matter will proceed to court. And that is some kind of extra nice dispensation, it seems. And I don't know whether it arises from really what the Speaker says, that she's not just a normal person in society. She's almost second next to the president in terms of hierarchy.
You know, it does seem like kid gloves. It does seem like that she's been extended courtesies, you know, and it really flies in the face of, you know, what we understand to be that all of us are equal before the law, you know, that we have the same rights and privileges. We have the presumption of innocence. If the state seeks to prosecute us, they must prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. But there's no reason why, because you hold a powerful position, because you're a politician, because you're somebody of wealth, that you can abuse the criminal justice system in this way to avoid, you know, the mandate holder, in this case the NPA, executing their mandate. So it does seem under the circumstances, you know, despite what the Speaker said, that she has been given some allowances, but we'll see what the judge now says next week in terms of what's required to execute her arrest.
As far as the case is concerned, then let's look at the way in which the attorneys are arguing, saying, well, this case is suspect in a sense that it's a non-case, but two, it's unreliable in terms of the evidence that is being submitted because it relies on a single witness who's been afforded indemnity for her own charges.
You know, the court process must play itself out. It's very difficult to comment on these types of circumstances without, you know, without a full access to the record. One doesn't know exactly what kind of case the NPA has. I'm surprised that the Speaker's lawyers would have such a clear understanding of the evidence that's against her. You know, it's not uncommon for the state to have a key witness that they indemnify that becomes the basis upon which they build their case. We've seen powerful people convicted in the past based upon this kind of tactic. In fact, it's the type of thing we would expect the NPA to try to utilize more. It certainly was something which was utilized in the VBS case. And, you know, as we pursue state capture cases down the line, I think the state, you know, may very well have to make some deals with some implicated persons in order to ensure that we get some of the bigger fish. This is what law enforcement and prosecuting authorities do across the world.
Well, do you think, also the fact that this is a matter that has been sitting in the Commercial Crimes Court role for a long time, I think since 2020 at least, at that point, directing at this single witness who is the contractor who has now given this information, has turned a state witness to implicate the minister. That in itself, how long these processes take, is part of what leads us to this kind of mess and back and forth, and people thinking they can, of course, manipulate the system somehow.
You know, the criminal justice system doesn't work in a very smooth way. We know this, and we know that the courts are overburdened. We know that criminal defendants can use different tactics available to them to delay cases, and that these cases do get prolonged. You know, it's one of the reasons why, in terms of thinking about reforming of the criminal justice system, that we have spoken about proposals such as ensuring that we have dedicated anti-corruption courts with dedicated roles, that can expedite these matters. I recently returned from a trip to Zambia, where the Zambians have now instituted a new special corruption commercial crimes court, which has very strict time frames and very strict the way that the court role is run is done in a very particular way. I think we could learn some lessons from this, because I think you're right. I think the way that these cases get drawn out also creates the room for some of these kind of challenges that we're seeing now.
Karam, appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming on. That is Karam Singh, Executive Director for Corruption Watch, there with us.